Do you want to know what piece of advice changed my outlook on weddings completely?
What?
Lose your crutches.
What the hell does that mean?
Greg, you're probably going to remember this, but we struggled like 5 or 6 years ago. We took our foot off the gas. We lost all of our bookings. We nearly went under.
Maybe not quite as extreme as that. I mean, yeah, we took our foot off the gas. Hadn't really been marketing because we were getting bookings comfortably.
Yeah.
And then things slowed down. And yeah, it became like, we need to do something here.
The wedding market was easy peasy back in those days. You could do anything, and thousands of people would see your work, and it was simple. It was so easy. Lose your crutches essentially means if you're relying on a piece of gear or if you're relying on a technique, you have been making yourself crippled. You're not being creative anymore. You're just doing what you're used to doing with the kit that you've been used to doing it with, and you're not evolving as a filmmaker or as a photographer. We've been doing this for like 12, 13 years now. Halfway through that career, we started losing bookings, and I was starting to become very jaded with weddings because I was just essentially I turned myself into a wedding robot. I bought all the kit and I was using all the kit, and it just became, gotta get this shot, gotta get this shot. Have I shot this? Have I used my slider? Have I used my gimbal? Actually, no, not... Yeah, we had a glide cam, not gimbals. They weren't invented yet.
All right, Grandad.
Right, Grandad. So what did we do, Greg? What did we do?
We minimized the kit.
And so, as we are now YouTubers, apparently, we now have to do the ceremonial showing you of our kit bag.
Ooh.
So, I spent a long time looking at bags.
Too long. So long that you ended up buying two.
I bought two. What was the first
How's
one?
that minimizing the kit? Getting 2 bags for yourself.
I bought a think tank sling. And then I bought this bag, which is also kind of like a sling hybrid type thing. And it's a Manfrotto, which, funnily enough, I never really rated Manfrotto other than...
I didn't know they did bags.
Well, this is the thing. I never really
gear.
rated their bags or whatever. I just thought, yeah, like you, support gear. Until I found this bag and I thought, holy shit, this is doing everything I needed to do. The idea...
What's inside?
The idea was that essentially the way that we break up our roles on a wedding day is that Greg is sound and almost documentary shooter. And I am more of the creative stuff, because the way that we approach our wedding films is it's important for us to document what's happening, but it's also really, really important that we have that creative aspect to our wedding films that turn it from just a wedding film to a film about weddings. That is really important to us. In particular, me, who has a family and a wife, and I can't go to Hollywood and have a filmmaker's career. I put all of my aspirations of filmmaking into my weddings. We also talk about that in our long episode of Perspective, in our podcast episode with...
Oh, Alessandro.
Yes!
Oh, okay.
How are you doing, by the way? I hope you're well. Rocking in LA, you jammy bastard, you. Anyway, so let's get talking about the kit that I bring at weddings. We moved to Sony cameras, so obviously we are now Sony. So here's my Sony B camera, that's the 85-108, and here is my 35. We do shoot primes, 2 Sony bodies right there. And then also my drone, because it's good to keep quick access. Rain cover. There is another place for another lens. However, we are prepped for a shoot for tomorrow, so that's not in here because it's a small shoot. In this side pocket, we downgraded our drone. What professional says they downgraded their kit and is proud of it? Basically, you don't really need a license anymore because it weighs under the legal limit of 250, because this is 249 grams. Anyway, that's cool. And then some spare batteries in there as well.
You never said what these bodies are. We moved to Sony, but what Sony camera?
Oh,
come
sorry.
on.
Well, we're
What kind of
video.
what kind of YouTuber are you?
This is the A7S3. The other one, actually, I've actually nicked both of Greg's cameras here. These are our two A7S3s. I've got a little thumb grippy plate I'm testing for tomorrow. And yeah, that is essentially it. We shoot handheld. There's no rigs. There's no monitors. There's no anything. There is this neck strap.
Where's my stuff?
I'm not finished, Greg. All right. Other things we keep in here at the front are batteries. These are good batteries that I can use in the back. Bad batteries go in there when they'll be naughty. I know. Yeah, sorry. In the back, smoke grenade for whenever you want to put a little bit of a zhuzh into a shot or a moment or a whatever. A prism. Now, I don't see many filmmakers using prisms anymore. Is it because they've had their time in the sun, or do filmmakers just not know how to use them?
Not sure.
I don't know. If you're a filmmaker and you don't use prisms, have you ever thought about it? Comments down below, because I really want to see who's actually thought about using prisms, who does and who doesn't. Because this is one of my favorite toys. If I'm ever shooting at a wedding, you will see me with my 35 with this in my hand, and this is me all day, all day. And you can use these in a variety of different ways. This is super important as filmmakers. Get yourself some ear protection, please, for the love of Christ. I keep these in my bag because I used to always forget them, and we have shot some of the biggest bands in Scotland, in the UK. Look after yourself. You don't want to be that old guy shouting, what are you saying?" at your wife when you're like 80. Spare ND filters, hand sanitizer, props for your drone because it's a drone and they fly into things as well.
They fly in things, or you fly in things?
Or fucking do you fly into things, Greg? And hand warmers. Now, hand warmers, extra great for you if it's really cold, extra great if you want to give these to your couple. If I am separated from Greg and I know I'm going to need some audio recorders, I will take some from Greg's bag and I'll have them on me, and they live in the front because sound is the most important aspect of a film. The reason I keep this on me all the time is so that no one steals it, and I have it open all the time because if I'm shooting primes, I don't want to be switching bodies all the time. So I'm shooting with one, I'm shooting with the other, and they just go back in the bag, and I'm going to and froing all day long.
This is my bag. Da, 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 da. I went for the DB. I can't remember the name of it. The Traveler, I think it is. So I went for the DB because I loved the modularity of it, or this connecting feature at the front, which you can clip things onto. So I got a wee pouch, and that has all the audio equipment in it, which is all the exciting stuff, because camera-wise, in here it's usually an A7S3.
Yep.
But right now it's the A7 IV, which is our third camera. Audio-wise though, we're using the Tascam DR10L. We've got a few of them that we pop on whoever's doing a speech or a reading or vows or anything. So those go on every day. We've got the trusty Sony TX650s that are like gold dust now. So, yep, what do you call that?
Elastic sleeves?
Yeah, elastic sleeves to go on the microphone, which are so handy. If you've got like 7 or 8 people doing speeches and you don't have enough lavs to mic every single person, whap that on the mic. As long as they're using a handheld mic, it will be a perfectly good source. Excuse me, I'm trying to talk here.
I was trying to find a mic so you could demo it for them. What else you got in there, Greg? What else you got in there?
In here, we also have some windshields for the lav mics and for the Sonys. So this one actually is for the TX650, which I don't think many people use the TX650 outdoors with windshields. But when you're in Scotland and you've got a blown gale, then you kind of need to put the wind protection on. It's just, you gotta do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is true.
So that just clips on the front here.
What do you do with this little bag, Greg? Tell them what you do with this little bag. This little cute thing. This little cute thing.
This one goes on my belt and it holds my spare batteries. So a couple of spare batteries and a lens wipe go in there, because I'm not carrying this about with me. This is more of a catch-all bag and it's a bit heavier, so I don't want that. I'm just one camera, one lens, run and gun all day.
So I've obviously spoke about that I use a 35 and I had the 85, but obviously that's your lens. Usually when we shoot a wedding, that's your lens, right? I'm the 35, you're the 85.
Yes. So yeah, in here we have one body and a bunch of lenses and stuff. So a lot of this is rarely used.
It's also not organized at all. That was my fault because I was prepping for the shoot tomorrow. We only need one bag.
Yeah, so like the 7200 here is only used for ceremony, really. That's it. So this is why it's a catch-all bag. It's just that when you need it for that one moment in a long church, that's what you use it for. We've got a wee LED light, which is quite handy for some creative couple shots. Or we use it a lot for the detail shots, which we don't shoot a lot of, but when we do, just adding that in and a bit of movement just adds some extra dynamic to the shot that people aren't expecting. Simon made me buy a lens baby. I don't think he's used it once.
I've used it once. I used it for the dancing. So
much for minimizing the kit.
I know.
Rarely used.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right.
Anyway, so the mics that we're using, we recently, towards the end of last season, transferred over to. This one's not even been used. That's how recent. It's not even been used.
Fresh tech. Does it have that fresh tech smell? Let me smell.
It's the new Rode.
Oh, it does.
So they changed the design, which I'm still not sure about.
Look, they said they minimised the footprint. They bloody well have not minimised it.
Wider and fatter.
I just don't understand the thinking behind it. I would love to speak to Rode.
But they do have the screw-in bit. So with the Tascam DR10L, did I say it was?
Yes.
You can screw it in. It gives extra protection, because we did have a situation where we were on a hike with the couple, mic'd the celebrant up before heading to the ceremony spot, so they were all ready to roll, and it slipped out her back. Didn't realise until she handed it back to us. So we had to scramble and pull together. There was a bride and groom on that situation, the groom's mic to use, and it worked fine. But it was a panic.
It did work fine. Yes, it wasn't very windy at all. You don't want to be testing that situation out too often on a wedding, because sometimes you just will get lucky, sometimes you won't.
The main kit in there's one camera, one lens with a spare lens, and again, a lot of the same gear
memory cards
that Simon has. So a memory card pouch up here. You just keep a bunch of them. Once I get to the ceremony spot, that goes in my pocket and it's in there all day. And yeah, ear protection, lens wipes, hand warmers, same as Simon. Just in case it's needed, some snacks. Chocolate cereal bar. Just in case it's needed, Manfrotto, wee mini tripod. And yeah, that's pretty much my kit. As I say, it's usually just running around with one camera and one lens, handheld all day.
And our last bag. Now, this is one of my favorite additions to the kit. This is our charging solution. I'm sure many professionals out there have one of these charging bags. It is dusty as all hell. David, did you just put the thing on when we're doing a video? Co-working space. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Bloody hell, David. Anyway, so I'll show you a top-down view. So it's got 3 sections in it. One is like the adapter, and you just plug that when you get to a wedding venue. You plug that in the wall, and you steal all their free power. And essentially, once we are done with the camera battery, we chuck it in the bag, and it just charges in the bag. And when you're finished with it, boop-a-da-boop, nice and small, compact, zip, handle, and away you go. Yeah, that's it.
That's what's in our kit bag.
That is what's in our kit bag. So,
we're officially YouTubers now.
We're officially YouTubers now. Hit that subscribe button and follow our podcast for more delicious conversations that we had with some of the best wedding photographers and filmmakers in the business. However,
in the meantime,
enjoy your life.